What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am taking you guys back to the golden age of YouTube. We're going to keep it really simple today, and we're just going to do a basic Q&A. I put up a questions poll on my Instagram, let you guys ask me whatever you wanted, and now I'm going to sit here and answer my favorite ones. Some of them were really interesting and like actually thought-provoking, and others were just a little bit invasive. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? Starting off with a very simple one, somebody asked me how tall I am. I would say I'm around 5'8". If I stand up really tall, I can get close to 5'9", but for safety's sake, we'll say 5'8". Someone asked me, since you love animals, have you ever considered being a veterinarian? Actually, yes. When I was a kid, my first ever job that I wanted to have when I grew up was a veterinarian. And then as I got older, I realized that being a veterinarian comes with dealing with sick animals and not just like hanging out with puppies and cute cats all day. There was actually going to be like hard and stressful things that I would have had to deal with as a vet, like telling somebody that their pet didn't make it through the night or they didn't survive the surgery, and I decided that that was not the life that I wanted to have. So yeah, I kind of gave up on that dream pretty quickly. But I did want to be a veterinarian for a couple years. Fave tat. This is always like a very common question that I get. I would probably say, granted, I do have some new tattoos. So I've got some new ones that I don't think I've shown on like a tattoo tour or anything on this channel yet. But my most recent one that I think is my favorite is this little spider right here. Focus on the spider, not on my face. There you go. Yeah, he looks fucking sick. He's a bit dry. I haven't moisturized yet today. So yeah, but he's definitely my most favorite like recent tattoo, but my favorite all-time tattoo is definitely my chest piece, the Medusa. Where are you working now? I currently work in marketing and social media, and I also am signed with a modeling agency in Milan. I'm signed with Vision Street Casting. How much did it hurt getting tattooed over your scars? Oh, I get asked this question a lot actually, and it wasn't actually that bad. So first of all, I had to wait until I was a year post-op to make sure that my chest and my scars were like fully healed and everything. And then I would say probably the worst part of the tattoo was right under my nipples, like in between my scar, like my incision, and my nipple graft. That was the most painful part. It was really sensitive there for some reason. But overall, I would say like max, it was maybe like a 7 out of 10. It really wasn't that painful. In fact, when I remember when I was getting it tattooed, my artist was like, okay, like we finished the line work, and I hadn't even realized that they had already gone over my scars. Like it didn't feel any different than the rest of my skin being tattooed, basically. Someone asked me what my body fat percentage is, and I don't know. Like, I don't keep track of anything like that. I do work out, but I don't track my macros or track like anything other than my weight and the progress of my lift. So I don't know for sure what my body fat percentage is, but I did just like some little like rinky-dink Google body fat calculator. And it told me that I have 12% body fat, 12.1% body fat. So I don't know if that's accurate, but that's what Google told me. So yeah, that's my body fat percentage. Not sure why you would want to know that, but someone asked me, they said, this is personal, but I'll keep it broad. Did getting top surgery relieve any desire for bottom surgery? And the answer to that is really simple. I don't want bottom surgery. And I've made an entire YouTube video previously about why at the moment I don't want bottom surgery, so you can go check that out if you want. I can link it in the description of this video. But basically, I just have no real desire for bottom surgery. Like, I'm not like in any mood or in any rush really to like change anything about it. So when I got top surgery, that was my main goalpost for my transition. It was first start testosterone and then get top surgery. So I've done both of those things, and now I'm just kind of chilling, especially because, you know, you can use what you got for some extra cash on the side. If you know, you know. We'll just leave it at that. This person left a question that actually really interested me. They asked me if I experience gender in my dreams. They said, do you experience gender in your dreams, and how? And in sex dreams? I'm having some gender issues in general and in my dreams at the moment. So this question really interested me because I'd never like thought of that before. But when I saw this question and I actually started to like think back into like early on in my transition, because I've been on testosterone for almost 6 years. I've been on T since 2017. So it recently, obviously, I don't think of gender in any weird way. Like, I'm just a dude, I look like this, I sound like this. This is how I look and sound in my dreams. But I do distinctly remember when I first started transitioning, when I first started T, it actually took me a while, not only in my dreams, but also like just in general in real life, to see myself as male and to picture myself looking and sounding like a dude. Like, even though I was on T and my face was changing, my body was changing, my voice was getting deeper, and all these changes were happening to me, mentally, I was not keeping up with that. Probably like 8 months to a year on testosterone, I still saw myself as very feminine. I still saw myself as like a girl, basically, or like a really butch lesbian, I would say. And I actually took a video one time where I was in the dressing rooms of H&M, and I was looking at myself in the mirror, and I posted this video on Instagram because it was so crazy to me. In that moment, looking at myself in the mirror of an H&M dressing room, I saw myself as a guy. Like, for the first time, I really looked at myself and I recognized my face as a male. I don't know how to describe it other than that. If you're transmasculine, if you've had that experience before, let me know in the comments. Maybe I sound crazy, but maybe you guys have experienced something similar to that. For so long, you don't recognize yourself in the mirror and you feel like you're almost playing pretend. You almost feel like you're playing dress up, you know? You're just this girl pretending to be a boy. And then at that one moment, something clicks in your brain, and I just saw myself for who I actually am as a male, as a man. It was so crazy. So once I had that moment where my brain like clicked, and ever since then, I've never had any issues with that. So I definitely understand what you're going through, but you'll get there. Like, it'll get better. Someone else asked me if I still get my period, and if not, when did it stop? So this question, it's gonna have like a mixed answer, because yes, my periods stopped. Like, I don't have full-on periods anymore, and I would say that they stopped probably within like the first month or two of starting testosterone. But occasionally, especially if I'm late on my shot for whatever reason, if I just don't have my prescription or whatever, I will occasionally have like spotting, but I never have like full periods anymore. For the most part, I would say that no, I don't have periods anymore, and they stopped pretty early on in my transition. What tattoo are you wanting to get next? Well, right now I'm broke, so I can't afford to get any tattoos anytime soon, probably, but I haven't really like thought of anything specific that I want to get next. I kind of am in that phase where I just want to be covered, and so I don't care what you put on me, just put it on me, basically. I follow a lot of tattoo artists on Instagram, and if I see somebody that has like really cool flash that they've just put out, maybe I'll get something like that. But yeah, at the moment, I am way too broke. Money is way too tight. Probably gonna have to put a hold on the tattoos for a while. What was one culture shock you experienced in Italy? I made an entire YouTube video about like the major culture shocks that I experienced when I moved here, but I would probably say like the biggest culture shock, I don't know if this applies to all of the United States, but at least where I'm from Texas. And so, you know, Southern hospitality, everybody's supposed to be like nice to your face down there, basically. And in America, it's really common for like, you know, people will compliment you in public. People will say, oh, I love your hair, I love your shirt, blah, 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 blah. People are nice. They smile at you when they pass you on the street and things like that. Italians are not like that. They don't compliment you. And if you try to compliment somebody in public, a lot of times they'll look at you like, don't fucking talk to me. Like, I don't give a fuck what you think. That was probably like the biggest culture shock, is just the fact that like nobody is nice here. Like, people are very cold and standoffish, which was just strange for me personally, because like I said, where I come from, where I'm from, it's very different. I'm not trying to say that all Italians are mean, but I'm just saying like they'll give you a mean mug. How long did your scars take to heal? Like I said earlier, when I got them tattooed, that was when they were considered fully healed. Most surgeons will tell you that around the 1 year mark, that's when your chest and your incisions are gonna be completely healed. Like, there's not gonna be any chance of like your incisions ripping or your nipple grafts, like, you know, nothing's gonna happen after a year. I would say probably around like I'll put some pictures up here so you guys can see like what it looked like in this time frame, but I would honestly say around like 6 months is when I started to feel confident in my chest, in the sense of like I wasn't worried about stretching my incisions or, you know, hurting myself if I was like working out or going to my job, because at the time I had a really labor intensive job. I was working at Taco Bell and I was working as a dishwasher, so I was moving like heavy shit, I was lifting stuff and everything like that. But I started scar care really early. After I got top surgery, I started scar care probably like a month and a half to 2 months into recovery, because I wanted my chest to heal as well as it could and as fast as it could. So that probably had a factor in, you know, how quickly I felt like I was healed to a certain degree. Someone asked me if I shave my chest. I do, but not like with a razor. I just have like a Phillips trimmer, clipper, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I don't personally like body hair on myself. So yeah, I trim my chest, and, you know, I do a little bit of manscaping. I just keep it trimmed really close to the skin, and that's it. Alright, gonna finish off with a couple of kind of serious questions. What do you think the future of queer life, especially in America, is gonna be like? With the way that the world is looking right now, we have all of the anti-transgender legislation being put into place in the United States. Italy just recently removed same-sex parents from adoption records, I'm pretty sure. With all of the transphobic rhetoric going on in the UK as well, it's not looking good. Straight up, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is not looking good. You know, fortunately, I'm very lucky in the fact that I'm stealth. Unless somebody recognizes me from online, you know, no one knows that I'm trans. Nobody knows that I'm queer. However, for people who are not able to be stealth or don't wish to be stealth, it's difficult, especially you know, in places like the United States. So unless something changes really soon, it's probably only going to get worse, unfortunately. All right, and the last question that I'm going to answer, somebody asked me how I dealt with getting misgendered early on. I grew up in like a relatively small town. It wasn't super small, but it was small enough to the point where I was in high school with kids that I had known from like kindergarten. Like I had known most of the people in my high school since we were babies, and we had all kind of grown up together. So I would get misgendered a lot, but not because people were transphobic per se, just because they had known me for so many years as a girl, as this other person, we'll say. And so it was difficult trying to get people to be on the same page as me. At the time, I was working as a server, as a waiter at a local restaurant, and I actually would get misgendered less at my job than I would at my own house. And the best way for me to deal with misgendering was just reminding myself, if it was a stranger, just reminding myself they don't know me, they don't know who I am, I'm probably never going to see this person again ever. So especially once I started testosterone, it kind of gave me the courage to start correcting people. And at the time, like I said, I was working as a waiter, so I would put my pronouns on my name badge. I just started correcting people, especially strangers. I was just like, oh, it's he, him, actually. I'm a boy, like I'm not a girl. And they would be, most of the time they would be like, oh, my bad, like I didn't realize. Dealing with being misgendered by family was a lot harder. Basically, I would just have my friends around me at all times because they were my biggest support system at the time, and that really helped. I found that having my friends around my family and having my friends use my chosen name and my chosen pronouns helped a lot in getting the rest of my family to actually accept it and actually start using it as well. So, alright, I feel like I answered a lot of good questions. I don't want this video to get too long. Been really busy recently trying to get my graduation all set up, trying to take my last exams, write my thesis and all that shit. So I just wanted something really easy to sit down, film, and something really easy for you guys to sit down and watch in the background or whatever you do whenever you watch YouTube videos. That's fine. That's none of my business, really. I'm just happy that you're here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments what sort of videos you guys would like to see next from me, and I will see y'all in the next one.